How's it going, Power Stroke Nation? My name is Austin, and welcome to the Power Stroke YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below, like the video, and stick around for a while. So today we have actually a pretty funny video. As I was thinking of a video idea for this week, the truck decided to come up with its own. So I've replaced this part on the truck once before when I first got it, and it was a very scary thing when you buy a new truck and a month later you're driving down the road and it randomly shuts off. No power steering, no brakes, no nothing in a 9,000 pound truck. That is a little scary. So, as I was driving down the road this week, naturally the truck decides to shut off. So today we are replacing the kryptonite of the 7.3 Power Stroke, which is the cam position sensor. This is a $24 part that I picked up at O'Reilly's. Now, I made the mistake 2 years ago of buying a $9 one off of the internet, which was not a very good idea. Silly me. Now, I made the decision to buy a $9 one 2 years ago because I didn't know any better. I was brand new to the truck. This was before I even had a YouTube channel. So let me explain what this part does and how it works. All right, you guys, here it is. This is the kryptonite of the 7.3 Power Stroke. It has been recalled on the truck, so hopefully yours was brought in for a recall. Mine sadly never was. This is my brand new one that I just bought. Like I said, I replaced the other one with a $9 part that I bought online. And it was super silly of me to do because now 2 years later it's dead. I should have just went with one of the good ones, and I think this is it. But if not, I'm at least testing out a part, and if it fails I can tell you guys what my experience is with it. So what this silly little guy is, this is the cam position sensor, a CPS. It's known under several other names, but the official name is cam position sensor. So what this guy does is it has a little magnet here that'll read the spokes and gaps on the camshaft wheel, and it will basically indicate which cylinder is about to hit top dead center. And so this will send a code to the PCM to adjust the fuel injection timing. And when this goes bad, you'll start having stalling issues, you'll start having rough idle, and all that fun stuff. So this little guy really will just end your truck like it did with mine. I mean, mine shut off within a mile, shut off 3 different times. And it did weird idling and all that fun stuff. So here it is all close up. And we will get this put into the truck here pretty soon. I'm going to go over what symptoms you'll have if this is your issue, because there's been a lot of videos that I've watched that haven't really been clear, and I really want to help people that have this issue, because this is something that you definitely want to get fixed once it starts happening, and it's such a simple little thing to replace. All right, so let's give it a crank here. Very common issue right there. So pardon the beeping if you guys can still hear me, hopefully. That right there is a very common issue, is it will just crank and crank and crank and never start. So that is definitely a telltale sign of the cam position sensor being bad. All right, so I'm gonna roll the truck back real quick and we will get to work underneath. I do wanna say it is a gorgeous day. It's probably 70 degrees here in Oregon and nice and sunny. Couldn't ask for a better day to be doing this, because I'd rather not be laying in the rain and cold and nasty trying to fix my truck. That would just be absolutely terrible. So here we go, let's roll the truck back and let's get to this. It is so sad seeing such a great truck down, like won't even start or anything. Because it really is. The 7.3 is a great truck. It just has its small little issues. And this just sadly happens to be one of the very common ones that fails. Oh, doesn't look like I backed up far enough. So I'm gonna back up a little bit further and then we'll jump right in. So now you're not gonna be accessing the cam position sensor from the top of the motor. I'm doing this so I can have some light and be able to see up through, because it'll help me a little bit. And it should be right under here. All right, so we're laying underneath the truck right now. I was just trying to remember where it was. Let's see if I can get my camera up in there. So this part right here is your CPS. So you can see the wiring harness that connects to it here. And I'm going to disconnect that. It is a 10mm bolt that you'll have to fight your way to get in. And if your truck is like mine and had oil leaks in the past, you are definitely going to have quite a bit of oil on your hands after this. I mean, just from reaching up in there, I'm already pretty filthy, but you know what? These are working hands. This is what they do. So, pardon me, just smack you into the sway bar there. But anyways, yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our 10mm after I unplug that guy. I'm going to try to set the camera up somewhere so you can watch me do this. And yeah, it's pretty simple. Like I said, you unplug something and then you on-thread a 10mm bolt. That whole thing will pull off, and then rethreading the new bolt is pretty much the hardest part. Alright, so unhooking the CPS should be pretty easy. There's a little tab that you pull back with your finger, and then you literally just disconnect it that easily. So, oh good, now the thing's blocking your guys' view. See if I can push that up out of the way. Not really. Alright, so now I got my socket with extension and a deep socket. So basically, you're not really going to need the deep socket. It's simply to get your wrench close enough. Oh god. Okay. Basically, it's just to get your wrench in there. So if I can get the camera worked in there. Sorry, you guys, this is kind of hard to do. So you can see my hand over here, and I had to run it across the belt, or through it, I guess. So I had to run it through where the belt is, and it just needed to be long enough that I could get past that. Now, oh man, I torqued that guy on there last time, huh? Alright, so I just fumbled around with a smaller socket, and I guess when I put this thing back on, I full on sent it, you guys. This guy does not want to come off, and this extension might be too big, which will put me in a rough spot because I don't really have anything else I can do, so I'm going to have to try to find some way to get some leverage. So, it's definitely a pain in the butt to get up in here. I'm not going to say this is an easy job, but if you want to do it yourself and save yourself quite a bit of money, spend an afternoon sitting here trying to get this to come off. Last time it took me about 2 hours. I don't remember it being this difficult, but again, I full on sent this bolt back in, I guess, and I feel silly for doing so because I should have known this part was going to fail again. So I'm going to fumble around with this for a little bit longer, get it out, and then I will return to the video. All right, you guys, after some fighting, here is the old sensor. This is the one that I put in about 2 years ago. It was $9. It was super cheap because all it was the sensor. I reused the old bracket and the old gasket and everything. This whole new system here has everything on it. So this was $25, like I said. This was the $9 cheaper one that I did not do any research on. I just figured, oh, it's a part, just any part will do. I was very, very wrong. So, and after doing some reading, I know the light gray is a very controversial CPS for these trucks. A lot of people say go with the dark purple ones or just go back to the black ones that were original on the truck. I'm going to see how this one does, but I will be looking into the dark purple one, which is the one that was, I think it was released 8 years ago or something like that. And a lot of people have a lot of good luck with those. But for now, like I said, just to get the truck running, I'm going to throw this guy on, plug it back in, and we'll see if the truck starts. I really hope this is it because I need the truck for work. But, you know, that's not how things always work. So here we go, guys. Here's the new sensor. We're going to throw it back in. Threading this is going to be the hardest part of this whole thing. Well, we'll see, actually, because pulling that guy out was a pain in the butt. So here we go. So, all right, we're going to throw this new sensor in. You just thread it up here. Pop it in the hole. Make sure you're lined up properly. And then push. But yeah, if you really want to, you can just use the bolt to help push it in all the way if you don't feel like muscling your arm in here and using all your wrist to push the push the sensor back into place. So, all right, so now we're on the tail end of this. I'm gonna have to say this is probably one of my least favorite jobs to do on a 7.3. This sucks, you guys. If you cramp easily or your arms get tired or anything like that, this is definitely. Oh no, you did not. Oh no. Oh god, this stinking ratchet. This is the second time it's done it to me. I'm out. So I did have it threaded, you guys. I was on the winning end of this, and I was going to ask you guys what your least favorite job is. This is definitely one of my least favorite because holy crap, it is hurting my arm. Oh god, having to reach in here like this. Oh, this just sucks. Power Stoked, your favorite YouTuber here, just checking in. Still trying to get this dang bolt. Alright, you guys, so I'm noticing a very severe difference between these two CPSs. So, as you can see, this one tilts to the left, and this one tilts to the right. So the new one tilting to the right kind of makes it a little difficult because, well, we got this pulley right here. And I'm afraid that if I put this new one on with it being angled to the right, the harness is going to rub on that. So I'm going to throw that on there. That was one of my concerns because this bolt just is not threading. I think the threads inside the block are bad because the bolt looks just fine. So I'm going to try to put it back together. And yeah, we'll see how we do there. This has been quite the fight on this one. It was super easy the first time I did it. I mean, I didn't even have to look up here to see what I was doing. I just kind of went blind. but this is a different story this time. So we'll put it back together and I will give you guys an update at the end. All right, you guys, so I had to slightly modify the cam position sensor I went and bought because there was no time for me to go return it and buy another one online. So I'm going to save you guys the time. Do not buy the one from O'Reilly's. It is not right in any way. The angle of that CPS is totally wrong. It was just smacking right into the pulley for the belt, and so it would have either worn through the plug itself and ruined that, and then you have to do a whole new wiring harness, or it would have ripped it out, something like that. So to modify the one I had, rotate it, get it pushed on there. It's just plastic, so I had to basically make my own grooves for the bracket, and I rotated it, as you can see, so now the plug is facing out this way towards the passenger side of the vehicle versus down and towards the wheel. Not very fun on this one, but you know, I do it for you guys and to show you the pros and cons of this kind of stuff. So here's one of the cons. It's a pain in the butt, and sometimes the part isn't right. I will link a part that I know is right that I'm going to be buying next time down in the description below. It's from Riff Raff Diesel. Super awesome, guys. And yeah, so let's see if this fixed the truck. All right, you guys, this is always the scariest part here. Keys going in. Service engine soon light is still on. That's a little nerve-wracking. Oh boy, I'm a little scared. Here we go. Started up a little bit rough. She sounds a lot better. All right, so I'm gonna let it idle for a minute. Service engine soon light is still on, but it's cranked over, which is a really good sign because, as I showed you earlier, it tried to. It would act like it was gonna fire, but it didn't ever make the combustion. So right now it's idling. It seems to be idling just fine. It's at about 900 RPM right now. Sounds healthy. Sounds a lot better than it did. A little smoky though. So we'll see. All right, I wish I was recording right there. So the service engine light just went away. If you guys know what this means. So the service engine light just went away. We're good, but it revved up after it went away. So I don't know if it was in limp mode or what was going on there, but the truck seems to be idling just fine. As you see, 800 RPMs. Service light is now gone, and I guess I'll keep you guys updated. I'll take it for a test drive here in a little bit, but I'm gonna go clean myself up before I just make my truck absolutely filthy. I got bark dust on me, grease and everything like that, so I'm gonna go get cleaned up and we'll take it for a test drive, and hopefully this was it. I really hope so. First drive in the 7.3 since the new CPS. I just went around the block. It's actually doing a lot better than it was, so this is super encouraging to me that this was the CPS and not the IPR. So from what I understand, the IPR has very similar symptoms to the CPS, and if you replace one, it doesn't fix it, then you replace the other. I had a sneaking suspicion it was the CPS because I've had these symptoms before and these issues before, and this was the exact same thing. So the truck is acting pretty good. I'm going to get up to a high RPM. All right, 2,500, and then let off. And nothing weird. I mean, I left a little black smoke back there, whoops. But I'm risking getting stuck out here just revving the truck, driving it like a maniac, but you know, do it for the vlog. All right, you guys, the truck got me home, and seeing as it wouldn't get me home a couple days ago, it would just die. This was a major success. Despite everything that happened, all the issues of trying to put it back together, this was something pretty sweet and easy to do. Yeah, if you guys have any sort of mechanical inclination, or I mean, even just a basic knowledge of tools, you can do this pretty easy. You unplug it, unbolt it, pull it out, put the new one in. I mean, it's pretty simple, nothing too crazy. The bolt itself, yes, the hole that I put it into is stripped, and that's a very common issue. A lot of people stud that out. I may have cross-threaded it, putting it back in the first time I did the CPS without realizing it, because I couldn't really see. It was evening time, and I just was trying to hurry and get it done because it sucked. So thank you guys so much for watching. We're at 2,900 subscribers. That is insane. We're gonna hit 3,000 by the end of this month, I bet. Let's see if we can do it, guys. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share the video, tell all of your friends, and thank you all so much for watching.